A very good o'clock, dear students. Here I am Nikita, ma'am, your geography teacher. Students, today we'll continue our discussion over the chapter which we were discussing yesterday, and that is preventive measures of pollution. So let us see some other measures. Yesterday we saw about this air pollution. How can we stop the air pollution? We studied two things yesterday. That is the use of public transport, which has many benefits, and the restricted use of fossil fuels, which can stop the emission of harmful gases into the environment. Now there are some other solutions. That is, the important solution is saving energy. Energy conservation refers to reducing energy consumption through using less energy service. Energy conservation differs from efficient energy use, okay, which refers to using less energy for a constant service. Efficient energy use means if we are consuming much of the energy for a single purpose, then we have to use it efficiently, that is to reduce its use. And energy conservation is different, okay, that is using less of an energy service, okay, reducing the energy consumption, okay. For example, driving less is an example of energy conservation, and driving the same amount with a higher mileage vehicle is an example of energy efficiency, okay. See, it's the difference that if we write 10 pens with a good 10 pages with a good quality pen, okay, so that is using the pen efficiently, okay. But if we write less pages with that pen and we save the ink, so that is energy conservation, okay. So energy efficiency means getting more from the less resource, but energy conservation, that is reduction of the use of energy, okay. So this is the difference between efficiency and conservation. Now how can we conserve energy, that is reduce the use of energy? First, there are some points. So first is that we should replace a regular incandescent light bulb with a compact fluorescent light bulb, as CFL bulb consumes 60% less energy, okay. The bulbs which consume more energy should be replaced with a CFL bulb, okay, that consumes 60% less energy. And now we have all very less power consuming bulbs that are called LED bulbs, right? So they provide sufficient light and also consume less energy, so they should be replaced by the alternatives. Second point is, look for the Energy Star label on new appliances to choose the most efficient models available, okay. If you notice, and you should notice, that all the appliances are provided with a Energy Star label, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, these kinds of energy labels are provided, and these are based upon their energy consumption, okay, how efficiently they use energy. It means what is their energy consumption and what is the output based on that, okay. So we should always see the Energy Star label while buying a new appliance, okay, so that we can save our energy, right, so that we can save the electricity. Now take a shower instead of a bath. A shower takes up to 4 times less energy than a bath, okay. Take a shower instead of a bath. When we take shower, the amount of water used is less, okay, as compared to a bath when we uh, use water through a mug. So that is also a way of saving the energy. Next, by recycling organic waste, we can avoid release methane gas, okay. If we recycle the organic waste, whatever the organic waste is there, what is the organic waste? Organic waste refers to the waste that can be easily decomposed, okay. That includes the waste of peels of the vegetables that are produced in a home, the cow dung, okay. All these are organic waste which are not harmful to the environment. So if we recycle this if this waste is not disposed of properly, then it can reduce and then it can release methane gas into the environment. Okay, अगर ये waste खराब हो जाता है, सड़ जाता है, then this can release methane gas, lots of methane gas into the environment, which is a poisonous gas. Okay, so to reduce the amount of methane in the atmosphere, we should recycle this organic waste, that is converted into some humus. Okay, converted into some farm used product. Okay, useful products. So this can help reduce the amount of methane. Then a single tree will absorb 1 ton of carbon dioxide over its lifetime. Shade provided by trees can also reduce our air conditioning bill by 10 to 15%. So see the basic message that is being given, and that is the biggest cause of the spreading pollution in the environment, may it be any kind of pollution, that is air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, is happening due to large scale deforestation, and we are not at all aware about planting the trees at the same rate at which we are falling them, okay, felling them. So we should plant trees, as trees has many benefit, as it you can see here that a single tree can absorb tons of carbon dioxide, that is the biggest constituent of the atmosphere and the most harmful substance in the air right now. So that can be consumed by one tree, 1 million can be consumed. Okay, and it also provides us shade, it also provides some value. So it also helps in providing lots of oxygen into the environment, cleaning the air. Basically, it has many benefits. So the biggest contribution that we can do, that is for long time, is that we should plant the trees. A single tree. In many areas, you can switch to energy generated by clean renewable sources such as wind and solar energy. Okay, there are many areas which are benefited by the natural resources. Okay, so we should move to or switch to some cleaner options of energy. Okay, fossil fuels are a major source of energy. Coal is the major is the uh, biggest energy resource for country, that is for thermal power. Okay, but if we switch to some cleaner energy fuels, that will provide us energy, but in a safer way. Okay, without emitting any harmful gases into the environment. That is the renewable sources, the solar energy, the wind energy, and the hydropower. Okay, next we have the organic soil capture and store carbon dioxide at much higher level than soils from conventional farms. If we grew all of our corn and soybeans organically, we would have we would have removed 580 billion pounds of कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फ्रॉम द एटमॉस्फेयर. सो व्हाट डज इट से कि ऑर्गेनिक सॉइल्स जो होती हैं वो कैप्चर करती हैं और स्टोर करती हैं कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को मच हायर लेवल्स पे देन द सॉइल फ्रॉम कन्वेंशनल फार्म्स. यानी कि जिन सॉइल्स में ऑर्गेनिक मटीरियल मिक्सड होता है, द सॉइल विच आर मिक्सड विद ऑर्गेनिक मटीरियल, दैट इज ह्यूमस. ओके, बेसिकली so they absorb and store most of the carbon dioxide. Okay, and at a higher level as compared to the conventional soil. Okay, now we are introducing the concept of organic farming. Okay, in which instead of using instead of using chemical fertilizers for increasing the fertility of soil, we use the manure that is prepared from the organic waste. Okay, and it helps absorb carbon dioxide at a faster pace than the conventional soil. So see what is written here. If we grew all our corn and soya bean organically, हम कर सकते हैं, we can grow our corn and soya bean organically, then there would be 580 billion pounds of carbon dioxide removed from the air, and that's a huge sum and enough to make a difference. Next is carpooling or taking mass transit whenever possible. Okay, that's also a way of saving energy. We had discussed that if we use public transport, then the private vehicles will reduce and hence the energy consumption will also reduce. Now, what is organic farming? Why is it so beneficial? What contribution it can do in reducing the pollution? Modern agriculture techniques are not environment friendly because they pollute the soil and water resources of the area. As we studied the causes of the pollution, we study that fertilizers are a great cause of soil pollution as well as the water pollution. Okay, so fertilizers are the modern technique of agriculture. Many farmers are adopting fertilizers these days because of the commercial nature of agriculture, that they have to grow more crop for the selling purpose. Okay, so the use of insecticide, pesticide, fertilizer, inefficient irrigation method, these are posing several problems to the environment. Okay, pesticides and insecticides, we had studied that these kill the bad germs, but they also kill the good germs, good microorganisms that are good for the soil, for its nitrogen fixation. Okay, so these are posing some problems to the environment. The practice of organic farming is important step toward environmental conservation. So now moving towards organic farming is important step toward environmental conservation. It uses environment friendly techniques, because it uses environment friendly techniques. With these techniques, the crops are raised without using synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and antibiotics. Okay, in organic farming, totally natural products are used. No chemical fertilizers, no pesticides are used upon the crops, and these organic waste is obtained from the plant and animal waste and mineral sources. Okay, this is called biopesticide. This is called biopesticide, as this is obtained from the environment, from the animals and plants. So biopesticide derive from those plant and animal and mineral substance whose toxic ingredient break down easily. Okay, we studied about two types of waste, that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So the biodegradable, I told you, are easily get converted into simpler substances, okay, in the soil by the microorganisms, and they become non-toxic, so they do not harm the soil. Like pyrethrum is such substance which is extracted from chrysanthemums, a kind of flower. Oil from the neem tree is another biopesticide. Okay, these kind of things can be used to kill the pest. Okay, on the soil. It control air, water, and soil pollution. Soil fertility is increased, and it becoming popular in many parts of the world. Okay, although they are time consuming, effort consuming, but it's a better option. Becoming popular, green manuring is an effective method to add fertility to the soil. As I told you, green manure that is prepared from the peels of vegetables and the cow dung and the organic waste. Okay, it refers to the use of underplant material to improve the soil fertility. It is done by growing plants like sweet clover, red clover, alfalfa, etc. There are some plants which can help in increasing the fertility of the soil, okay, improving the fertility of the soil. So these are also grown. Farmyard manure is composed of dung, urine, bedding, and straw. See, and this is all the waste. It builds up the soil health considerably. Okay, it can build up, it can add up to the fertility of the soil. Addition of organic manure improves structure, aeration. It means that it improves the passing of air through the soil particles. Water holding capacity of soil also increases, and reduces the phosphorus fixation in acidic soils. Okay, it reduces the acidic nature of the soil. It's an important source of nutrients. There are too many nutrients in this organic manure. Crop residue can also be left in the field for decomposition, like grain, straw, maize. See, and this can be prepared naturally by the waste itself. Okay, if some residue is left in the field after harvesting the crop, like it is generally left, okay, the grain straw, the maize straw, okay, all the grass kind of thing which is obtained after separating the grains from the crop, that can be left into the field for decomposition itself. Okay, and that will be converted into biofertilizer. Okay, that also that can lead to biofertilization. So that's an easy and safe method of providing fertilizer to soil. So these are the advantages of organic farming. It's the form of agriculture that relies on techniques such as crop rotation, green manure, compost, biological pest control to maintain soil productivity and control pest on a farm. Okay, this is all based upon total natural techniques, that is crop rotation, green manure, compost, and biological pest. Nothing chemical is used here. Organic farming excludes strictly limits the use of manufactured fertilizers, And pesticide, okay, as I told you, no chemical fertilizer and pesticide are used. Plant growth regulators such as hormones, livestock, antibiotics, food additives, nothing is used to modify the organism. It's been found that organic farming reduces the production cost by about 25 to 30% as it does not involve the use of synthetic fertilizer and pesticide. And the third advantage is that it reduces the cost of production because it does not involve any purchasing of chemical fertilizers that are very costly. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. Read it by yourselves and clear your doubts.